with the match card here, we do have a tag team match of the tag team champions, which would be Bianca and Naomi versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. So it's a tag team match there. Non-title match, by the way. We got one-on-one Jimmy Uso, Big Jim versus Carmelo Hayes. We got Solo Sikoa returning. We got another tag team match, number one contender. We have MCMG versus Los Garzas. Whoever wins the match will be the number one contender for the tag team champs, and that's DIY. Then the main event will be Tiffany Stratton defending her newly won first first ever title defense for the WWE Women's Championship against Bayley, former Women's Champion. But let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Now, thing about the show here, this was a solid. We got Saturday night's main event coming up. We do have that coming up in the show. But despite that, we do have, some stories that got to be finished. And get more into it about that. But other than that, though, we're going to see what else happens next on the show. We'll definitely see what happens. We're going to see what's going on. And then, of course, see how the story unfolds, because this is at the point of the year that we are almost done with some stories before new stories start, because we got to keep in mind we are getting prepared for the road to WrestleMania. And it starts with Royal Rumble. This will be exactly 2 weeks. So we have that going on as well. So we got to keep that in mind. But other than that, though, I think it would be a good way to finally wrap up the stuff at Royal Rumble, kick off the Royal Rumble, everything. So I hope that is the case. I really hope that goes down like that. And only time will tell what else is going to unfold as far as that goes. When it does, we'll get there. We'll absolutely get there, but it's a little road there. We got Elimination Chamber and all that stuff coming up. And I'll go over some other current news as well. So I have not forgot about that either. But we definitely on that road now. Definitely on that road. And see how things going to unfold. But other than that, though, we definitely got to get this going as far as WWE. And I'm going to talk more about some of these stories that needs to continue to be done with. I would definitely do that. Definitely by the most get that done. And I think the sooner they do that, the better things will be. Because one thing we don't want is ongoing storylines that's been going on way too long. That's what we do not want as a whole. So, but other than that, though, let's talk about it and let's get to the first part of the show. Just wanted to notate that. First part of the show is Rey Mysterio kick off SmackDown. Now, he came on here. We know he's normally on Raw. He came on here to talk about how he will declare for the Royal Rumble. He mentioned his 2006 Royal Rumble win. He went to WrestleMania 22 to beat Kurt Angle and Randy Orton in Triple Threat to win the World Heavyweight Championship. And then while in the middle of it, we had Kevin Owens came out. He told him how much he respects Ray, how much he respects everything he done in his career. And he talks about, as if he were the WWE champion, he said, I would like for you to pick me if you win the World Rumble, and I'll set time against you. Then Rey Mysterio checked and said, hey, no disrespect to you, Kevin Owens, you're not really the champion. You're not unofficial champion. It's Cody Rhodes. Kevin Owens did not like that. He definitely didn't like that at all. And he tried to take a swing at Ray hit him with the belt. And him and Ray was going back and forth. And the match was set later on tonight, 1-on-1 Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Owens. So let's talk about the first match of the night, shall we? All right, we got the tag team match. We had Naomi and Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Now, we know that Nia still got a rebound from losing the title to Tiffany Stratton. Still in line with Candice. It's not the best partnership, I might add, but they're trying. But you can't stop the Glow and the EST. Can't stop those two. It was Bianca and Candice starting off things for their teams. And then I know Nia Jax did help Candice LeRae take some control at some point. But it kept going back and forth. It was a good back and forth between both teams. Nia Jax, I like how they Bianca and Naomi was quick on their feet. Nia Jax accidentally hit a leg drop on Candice by accident. But it ended up being Naomi got Candice LeRae with a bubble bomb and for the pin in the win. And the crowd was really behind it. So that was a good win by those two. It definitely set the tempo for Friday Night SmackDown. Let's start with the next part of the show. We had a one-on-one match. We had Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo cut a promo when he came out to the ring talking about Jimmy's living in the shadow of his brother Jay. Jay living in the shadow of Roman. And he was going to pretty much secure the win. But other than that, though, this seemed like a good back and forth. I know Jimmy's not the most athletic compared to his brother Jay and others like Carmelo, but he kept it the best way he could. And Carmelo had a good with his high flying moves. He hit the first 48 for a near fall. And I know also Jimmy Uso, he did good with the super kicks and keeping up with the tempo the best way possible. Now the match was getting good, but then at the end we had the Bloodline interfere, attack Jimmy Uso, and being a disqualification. And they also attacked Carmelo Hayes. And that was both it was both Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. So we had that going on as well, but it was definitely something else when that was going on. So it was wild though. I will say that. But other than that though, right shortly after that, we saw Solo come out. We saw the return of Solo Sikoa. Now he came out. And when he came out, this is the first time we've seen him since he did lose the Tribal Combat match at the Netflix Raw debut against Roman. So we knew something was going to happen. Or at least we thought we did. Other than that, though, we saw Solo come out. And he stood in the ring, dropped the mic, said nothing, walked off. After that, we had LA Knight come out and attack Bloodline, and Braun Strowman came out and face to face with Jacob Fatu. And Jacob Fatu kindly got out the ring before it went any further. So that was the end of that whole match. Jimmy and Carmelo / Solo returning. Let's get to the next part of the show. All right, we had a tag team match. Los Garzas versus MCMG. Number one contendership match. This match, I have to say, was amazing. Really good match. Both teams kept up the tempo. They both kept the fire, and I like that a lot. I like how both these teams tried everything they could to keep it flowing. So I got to give salute to both teams. Now, I will say that when that did happen with MCMG, I will say that Angel and Berto definitely was on it. Santos gave a good pep talk to them backstage before the match. But Alex Shelley and Angel Garza had a good exchange going. It was a good back and forth. It seemed like both teams got near falls. Like those Garzas had it. They had a good tag team move. And also MCMG got good tag team moves. Ref was like, wow. And the crowd was behind them as well, too. But I will say this. Both teams are smooth, and Angel Garza and Berto are getting better. I like that. But this was a good part of the match. You guys don't remember. This was like pretty much the highlight of the match. Best match of the night, I would say.
Of what Los Garza is capable of, just like this.
So yes, this was good. Very, very good both teams. Very good both teams. But with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next part of the show, next match. All right, we had a one-on-one match. Piper Niven versus B-Fab. B-Fab got a little bit better in the ring. I could tell she been training a little bit. The announcer even mentioned it. Uh, B-Fab did. I know she got some strength on her, you know, but she has some good speed and her height. And we know that Piper got the size and power. But definitely a little bit better. Now, I want the best match of the night. I still say B-Fab. I prefer be a valet. But I see they're trying to push her as a wrestler more as Street Profits are still injured. So they give her something to do. Now, the turning point in this match was obviously we knew Chelsea Green was trying to distract B-Fab, but it wasn't good enough. Piper Niven hit a senton on B-Fab, and it was a quick match, and Piper Niven got the win over B-Fab. But it was a good story told. We knew that when Chelsea is on ringside or Piper ringside, they always use a distraction to help the other win. And this match was no different. And Michin, she came out afterwards and she, tried to help B-Fab as B-Fab was getting attacked by Chelsea and Piper. Well, we'll see where that goes. And this all started from when Piper and B-Fab got to a backstage because B-Fab wants a shot at Chelsea's belt too. And Chelsea was taunting her during the match. But other than that, that's the end of that match. Let's go on to the next match. All right, we had the match that kicked off the show. It was announced earlier. Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Owens. Now this match here, this match here was better. It was good. I'll talk more about this match. It started off kind of slow. But KO, he picked up. He got some moves, got a head scissor and a senton. He kept it going. I liked in the match when Rey Mysterio was going up at the ropes after he hit KO with a 6.9, I believe. He's going for a splash. He bumped the ref and bumped to the rope, and that's how Rey got out. And the next thing we know, KO hit that stunner, and that was it. And then next thing you know, he tried to hit that banned pile driver, and this is where Cody Rhodes came in for the save. And that was it for that one. But let's get on to the main event of the show. All right, we got championship match. We got Tiffany Stratton versus Bayley. This match here don't surprise me. Very good match. I like how Tiffany kept the thing going. I could tell by looking at her, she was a little nervous to defend her title. She looked kind of nervous at first. Tiffany, coming out to the ring despite being, I guess, a heel character still. You could tell she looked nervous. I could tell by the look on her face. Other than that, they didn't stop her from doing her thing. They got right to business, Tiffany and Bayley. Tiffany got the upper hand. She did her thing, with her good style, and then Bayley, her strength and her style. And then Roxanne Perez had a crowd. She was in the crowd, taunted Bayley. Bayley tried to hit the Rose plan. Tiffany Stratton reversed it. However, Bayley was able to get the elbow drop on Tiffany. But Tiffany, she did good while she did get Bayley with she got Bayley with the Alabama slam, and then she hit the pretty smooth song for the win. And next thing you know, Tiffany, yes, she retains her WWE Women's Championship. So she definitely did that. Other than that, though, before we get into anything else, let's get to the review of the show. How did things go as far as SmackDown goes? So with that being said, now we had Solo returning. We had 2 tag team matches. One was for no contendership. Other was a non-title tag team title match. No titles online. One championship match being defended, and Jimmy versus Melo. I gotta be honest, the show was not that great. 2.5 out of 5. Not my most favorite show. I was not a fan of this show at all. It didn't have the intensity like last week or like Raw for that matter. Nowhere near it. So I definitely was not a fan of this at all. I thought more was going to be done with this whole show at least, but I was wrong. But I was not on board with this show at all. At some point, I was thinking about other stuff to do. It's almost like I was watching. It's almost like I was watching AEW Dynamite. That's how dull this show got. I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna hold back on that one. But definitely not my best review of the show. Not the best show. And let's see what you guys have to say. Community tab. You can vote on this right now. 75% gave it an A. I don't know how this was an A, but whatever. B 14%. Again, I don't know how this was a B either. 10% gave it a C and 2% gave it a D ref. So you guys let me know what you think of SmackDown. What you think of the show? Would you like it or not like it? Or whatever the case may be. All right, before we get into what went wrong and what went right with Raw, before we get into that, we're going to talk about next week's SmackDown. 2 matches announced. 1-on-1, LA Knight versus Tama Tonga. They will have a match due to, the whole interaction with LA Knight being from Bloodline still. Another match next week. We also will have MCMG versus Pretty Deadly. They will have a 1-on-1 match, a tag team match, I meant to say. They will have a match as well, so we'll see where that goes. Other than that, though, guys, you guys go on community tab, you can comment as well. What did you think about the show? Were you high on it, low on it? I know I wasn't high on it, but that's my opinion on that whole subject. With that being said, we're going to get to what went wrong with Raw and what went right, and then we'll get on to the current news and bonus round. So let's talk about what went wrong with Raw. What are the issues that we saw in this episode? Let's talk about that. All right. So while we do talk about that, let's go over some things here. All right, Apollo Crews needs a new tag team partner. Now I've been coming down Apollo Crews a lot lately. I said that he's not really doing anything, but it seems like he always interfering when Pretty Deadly, when they have an interaction with DIY. He's always got his voices 2 cents. But it's 2 of Pretty Deadly and 1 of him. And I know Baron Corbin been released. Ever since then, I seem like WWE can't find no tag team partner for this guy. Since you don't have him on TV wrestling that much, he just do backstage segments now. That's what he's limited to. But they still need to do something for him because this is not looking good at all for Apollo Crews. Not at all.
You know what's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
Yeah, this definitely made the list. I don't like what they're doing with him. He needs to form a partnership with somebody else if he wants to go against Pretty Deadly or DIY, whoever he has beef with. He cannot do it by himself. That's all I'm saying. And that's one issue I saw on this episode of SmackDown. Another issue I've seen, which was kind of irritating as well. The whole Cody Rhodes and KO contract, not signed a contract and all that. My thing with this is backstage tonight, Cody had just got cleared from the doctors before he went out to make the save for Rey Mysterio with the KO segment that kicked off SmackDown. Nick Aldis would say he tried to have patience with both Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. And, he wanted to sign a contract. Cody said no. Then Kevin Owens said no. So, with that being said, Nick Aldis got tired of nonsense. I just thought when it came to that was whack. Because no matter whether they want to sign a contract or not, it all came down to this. It came down to next week on Saturday night's main event, not SmackDown, but Saturday night main event. And I'll talk more about this in the bonus round. KO and Cody Rhodes, they will have a contract signing at Saturday night's main event. And the moderator will be Shawn Michaels. since neither one guy would sign a contract. But you could have did this in the first place. There was no need for Nick Aldis to ask Kevin and Cody, "Do you want to sign a contract?" I'm not signing. That was just a little too much. She got straight to the point, and I didn't like that at all.
What's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
So this was not worth it. Definitely a waste of time. So I thought that was just, there was no point in that. Another thing I saw happen that I didn't like on SmackDown, Solo Sikoa was advertised for this episode, and he comes out there after the Jimmy Uso and Carmelo Hayes match with DQ, and Bloodline attacked both Carmelo and Jimmy. Solo, they made a grand entrance for him. He just came in and say nothing. That made no sense. None. What was the point of that? I thought that was really ridiculous and really stupid. So I didn't like that at all. I didn't get the whole concept behind that. I really didn't. So I don't know what the whole deal is with that. So who knows? But this really made no sense for WWE to do. Or if you were going to do that with Solo, honestly, if you were going to do that and take that approach, Solo didn't even have to be there live. He could have been there via satellite, or you could have had Nick Aldis or somebody else say, "Hey, Solo was supposed to come, but he didn't, and we never saw him." But why advertise this man like that if he knew he was not going to come? I didn't understand that at all. I thought it was a complete waste of time. I didn't know why they would even go that far to do it, because you got to think about the people that did come and paid tickets for that show. I think that was in California. I forgot what part it is, but I didn't understand that at all. So it really made no sense to me. I really didn't get that at all. It didn't make no sense. I mean, Solo wasted a trip all the way down there to say nothing, literally to say nothing. I didn't understand it at all. So I don't know what's going to happen next week. I don't know what the fate is with the Bloodline and all that, because Jacob cut his promo. He went in right after that. You know, I'm going to get to that too. He had the one-on-one match that was announced Saturday Night Main Event, but I didn't understand this at all. I really didn't get the whole concept of what was doing this. This made no sense at all. So that being said, it was just ridiculous. It one of the worst things you can do to advertise like that. He shouldn't even advertise if he knew it was gonna go down like that. And it was just like the crowd even like, "Where you going?" But it was trash. So man, it was trash.
Words? No. You just made the list.
All right. That was not good. Let's go over another thing. We had a missing person report, on SmackDown. I don't know what the whole deal is, but I think I'm gonna start doing this more on here, because I don't know what the whole thing is, and even though SmackDown is a 3-hour show for the time being, even though it is, I don't know. But this really, like I said, I'm seeing more and more of this going on. And I don't know what SmackDown going to do when it comes down to this. I don't know what the whole case may be. But first off, I am going to mention it, and it definitely needs to be talked about. And I'm actually going to start mentioning it with, this will be the first person I'm mentioning it with. So with that being said, I'm mentioning missing report. And on this, and when you see this, when I post this up, that means somebody been on SmackDown a while, or they're not on as frequent as they should, or the character's just not doing nothing. So I'm talking about this. Remember Blair Davenport? What happened to her? She was last seen in the Intercontinental, United States Championship tournament for inaugural United States tournament. And that was it. That was over a month ago. And before that, it was 3-4 months before that. Like, is Blair Davenport going to be on the, is she going to be on the list of people to be gone? Will she be released from WWE? Are they going to release her soon? That's what I'm trying to find out. Because if that's the case, why even? Like I said, I know that why they draft these people, but I knew this was going to happen. When they draft people from NXT to Raw, SmackDown, they have them on TV a few times, a few matches. They don't even put them in the feud, and that's they disappear, and then we have to put out a missing report for these people. But I do not like this whatsoever. I don't like this at all. And it's not just her, it's a few other people too. But this is not good.
What's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
So yeah, that's another issue I've seen. Now let's go over and let's talk about the right things that happened. What went right with SmackDown. Despite not being the best episode, they still did some things correctly in the right direction. You gotta give credit where credit's due. And I'm gonna do it now. First thing I'm going to talk about, the Charlotte Flair return vignette. I liked what this character was going. She seemed like she's sitting on a yacht, driving fancy cars, so she more likely is going to return as a heel, not a babyface. It's going to be a brand new character, not the Queen character. More like she'll return at Royal Rumble or maybe Saturday Night's Main Event. You never know, but I do like the direction that they're going with this, so this is okay and very good in my book.
Yeet.
So that's one thing I saw that was good with SmackDown. Next thing I see good, the Michi and B-Fab Alliance looks good. Like I said before, B-Fab not the best in the ring. So it's probably good until she do get better, since she's trained the PC, to put her put in a tag team. Put along somebody with experience, a veteran, a seasoned vet like Michi, and they have good lions, and they could maybe make B-Fab can probably get better. That's what they do. So this would be good. But I think they're going to do this until Street Profits return. They just buying time till they come back. Well, and that's still a good pairing. I like this. I like this a lot. This is solid.
Yeet.
So that's a good move. Next thing I'll talk about what went right on SmackDown. Like I said earlier, best match of the night, Los Garzas versus MCMG. A+ match. If not an A+, A. Definitely a very good match. Los Garzas is getting over with Santos Escobar. Putting them over. At first I thought, man, maybe Santos not, getting over no more in the stable. The stable's not working for him, but he's helping Berto and Angel Garza getting over, and that makes him look good too. Similar to the Damage Control with Bayley, who wasn't doing much, and it was Io Sky and Dakota Kai getting over. The early days of Damage Control for that matter. But this is still a good look because they've been putting on good matches. This match was good, and Los Garzas also defeated Pretty Deadly last week in a very strong win. And even though they lost this week, they still look strong. So I gotta give credit where credit's due. Good match. And of course, MCMG, great match.
What's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
So this was good for them too. I like what they're doing here. Very, very solid what's going on here with these guys. But I would like to see what else more they're going to do with Los Garzas. And do not sleep right now. These guys could potentially be WWE Tag Team Champions. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. I can see that happening with these guys. I could definitely see that going down in that matter. But that's only till then. Not right now, but they are definitely in the eyes. I would say maybe after Street Profits come back and have a title run, maybe they can follow suit. I'm just saying, maybe that could be it. But definitely a good thing for this team to continue to do their thing and do what's right. But I do like where it's going, and I like how this is going. So, great match and great building by WWE. Continue to build these guys. I just hope they keep their foot on the gas pedal and do not fumble it. And I hope it continues to move forward for that matter. So definitely good. Good by both teams making each other look good and putting on best effort and best their ability. Because it's not easy for what they do. It's not easy for what these men do in the ring. That's why they tell us don't try to stay home. These men take hours and hours putting in, working on their craft and honing their skill. So with that being said, though, we're done with that. We're going to move on to current news. Current news, let's talk about it. All right, current news here. We got Triple H. He said yesterday that on an average, not every show, he did an interview with Sports Illustrated as well. He also mentioned that too. But he definitely said this. He say the way he see it, Raw will be running on Netflix approximately 2 hours and 30 minutes each week on average. Sometimes it'll be 3 hours, sometimes it'll be maybe 2 hours, 32 hours and 40. Because we gotta remember the first show was 3 hours on Netflix. And this current show was 2 hours and 33 minutes. So that's the plan. That's what they plan on doing with that show. So we have to see what happens next with that. But I think Netflix not being 3 hours every week is a good call. I have no issue with that because let's be honest, Netflix has a lot of commercials. Not just a couple of them, a lot, and that takes about a good time too. So we'll see how that's going to work. But we'll definitely see what the next move is going to be. I like the direction that Raw is going in with Netflix because as soon as the main event ended on this past Monday with Damian Priest and Finn Balor street fight, the main event, it just flows so perfectly, and I would like every episode to do that. That's definitely a win-win for WWE. Definitely a win-win for them, and that's the new wave. Streaming, not cable. Streaming, and if you don't do streaming on like a big platform, you can do offline, just regular X or YouTube. But that definitely is a new thing going on, and it's going to be a great partnership of this Netflix and WWE. It's going to be a very good beginning of a great partnership. So I would love to see what's going to happen next. I would love to see how they're going to play this whole thing out as a whole. I think it worked out well. Speaking of which, speaking of partnerships, we do know that WWE TNA, they continue their partnership. So it got extended. They announced a couple of days ago that it got extended. So let's see what it says right here. WWE and TNA Wrestling Today. WWE and TNA Wrestling Today announced a multi-year partnership aimed at creating unprecedented crossover opportunities within WWE and TNA programming for NXT superstars and TNA wrestling stars. So all the crossovers we saw with Joe Hendry last year, Jordan Grace, when she was TNA Knockouts champion. We saw Ash by Elegance, formerly known as Dana Brooke. We don't continue to see that. It's just beginning, and we saw the TNA Knockouts champion Masha Slamovich on NXT the past episode. So this is definitely going to be a win-win. But also more news. You guys let me know what you think about the TNA WWE partnership. Great win for both sides. AEW, no, they fumbled that. That's all I got to say. But other than that, speaking of running time for shows, SmackDown, they announced they will go back to 2 hours show in May or June. So I think that might be the best decision. SmackDown, they either on or they off. But we're not used to SmackDown in the whole history until now. The showdown started in 1999. It was 2 hours, and now it's 3. It's a temporary test run. And I think they're doing a test run now, see how the number's going to be each week. If it does well, I think they're going to keep it at 3 hours. If not, I think they'll go back to 2 hours in May or June. But what they're doing right now, running 3 hours, it's a test run. But they have to keep the booking right and flow and use all the characters right in the storylines, not just matches. I think that'll work out just fine. That's how I see it. But we gonna see how they gonna work this out in the day when it comes down to it. But SmackDown, they're getting more people to come over there, each week. So we have to keep that in mind as well. How that's gonna work. We gotta keep that in mind. How things gonna flow. Because that flow is not right. The show's not gonna be right. It's not gonna be right every week. So that's one thing that we do want is the show to flow smooth every single week. And I hope so. And I really hope that's the case at the end of the day. I really hope that's what it comes down to. But other than that, though, that's all I have regarding that. But it's time to switch gears again. We're about to enter the bonus round. And the bonus round we know will be Saturday night's main event, early predictions. So let's get that going. All right. We got Saturday night's main event match predictions. Now, early predictions we'll talk about. Now, SmackDown, we normally had, 2 matches added. 1 match added on Raw. And we talked about WWE SmackDown, the WWE Women's title match, and Solo Sikoa returning. Let's talk about the stuff that may happen before Saturday night's main event. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the matches going on. So, no particular order. I'll go over the match and who's going to win what. First match. Let's see. What's the best one to talk about first? The first one to discuss. All right. First match we'll talk about is Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. We know this match was announced on Raw. Jey wants to challenge Gunther for his title. They previously had a battle for winning Gunther's Intercontinental Championship. Jey did not win. Now, Jey, this is probably his, I believe, 3rd or 4th title challenge for the world title since he's been on Raw. He challenged Seth while he was world champion. He challenged Damian while he was world champion. Pretty much everybody that's grabbed the world title since Seth Rollins on Raw, Jey Uso has challenged them at least once. This is at least the 3rd, 4th time he went for the title. With that being said, Jey Uso still being used as enhancement talent. My prediction for this, Gunther. I don't see Jey Uso winning this belt. If he do somehow surprisingly win it, it's going to be later on. If he was at Saturday night's main event, I would be shocked. I'd be very shocked he wins. But that's what I have for that. Let's get on to the next match on the card. All right, we got Braun Breaker versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental title. Sheamus, we know that he's been chasing Intercontinental Championship for a minute. The one time he's never won in his whole career at WWE. Braun Breaker, the 2nd time Intercontinental Champion. He beat Jey Uso for the belt to regain the belt. My prediction for this match, I gotta give it to Sheamus. I don't see why they keep having Sheamus. It don't make no sense if Sheamus continues to challenge for this title and keep losing. Now, I know they had a good triple threat with Kaiser at Survivor Series War Games. That was a good match. And Sheamus almost won. He won for Kaiser, pulling the ref leg out. I don't see Sheamus getting almost close or getting near the title. I see him winning the title, and that would definitely seal the deal. And if it pretty much wrap up his career, that's the one. That's the only thing he really wanted at this thus far. He's already been a world champion, tag team champion, Money in the Bank winner, Royal Rumble winner, King of the Ring. We forgot about that too. Sheamus did win King of the Ring back in 2010, so that King of the Ring didn't mean nothing back then. But anyway, Sheamus will win. I got him winning the Intercontinental Championship from Braun Breaker. That's my prediction on that. Next match on the card, another match that was just announced: Braun Breaker versus Jacob Fatu. Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. Excuse me. I got the Braun name mixed up. Jacob versus Braun. They had an interaction in SmackDown. They was going to go at it. Jacob left the ring. These two did have an interaction. They went against each other before. Now, we see a pattern here when a big man does try to rise, get a come up in WWE. They always put it with a much larger man. That's Braun Strowman. We saw the history with Roman Reigns back in the day. The big dog Roman, not the tribal chief. We seen this with Bronson Reed, with a whole car splash and ever, and the last Monster Standing match, and now Jacob Fatu will be the guy. With that being said, whoever predicts to win this match, Jacob Fatu. We already know that the Bloodline's going to interfere. Jacob is going to get help from Tama Tonga, maybe Solo. They're going to interfere, and they're going to try to cost Jacob the match. And this is Jacob's first singles match in WWE. Since he's been in WWE, he's always had, tag team matches. So I would like to see these two big guys go at it at Saturday Night's main event. Can't wait. Now, this here is not a match. It's a segment, but it will set up for a match at Royal Rumble. And this is for the ladder match. Shawn Michaels will host a contract sign between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for their ladder match for the WWE Championship at Royal Rumble. We got the Winged Eagle title, and also the logo, the WWE logo belt, I call it, the original WWE Championship. They both will be hanging in the air, as KO and Cody has not agreed to sign a contract till the other does it. Shawn Michaels will be the moderator, and we're going to see how this is going to happen. Do I expect these two to go at it and attack each other? I do. Do I expect Shawn Michaels to get attacked by KO? I do. Or maybe Shawn Michaels super kicks KO, or he tried to super kick KO and he accidentally super kicked Cody Rhodes. We see this happen many times with Shawn Michaels involved in something. A super kick or attempt to super kick, someone ends up super kicking someone else happens. It happens all the time. We've seen that, but that's all. It's going to be chaos with that event. But other than that, though, that's as of right now, that's all I have for Saturday night's main event early card match predictions. You guys let me know in the 3 matches in the segment, what do you think is going to happen in that? And that's all I have for that. You guys check out the content here. Check out the channel. Check out the videos. Until then, guys, you already know what it is. It's O-U-T.
Something happened this weekend, and I've been struggling with it since I retired. But this weekend gave me closure.
Wow.
It really did. Like, it was fun. Obviously, it was fun. I mean, you can't, doing this for as long as I have and being involved.